In the history of warfare, victory is often won by the strongest army, the best weapons, or the most brilliant strategy. But what if a war could be won by an army that wasn't even there? What if the deadliest weapon was imagination? Today, we're diving into the astonishing story of the Ghost Army, a top-secret unit that used art, illusion, and pure audacity to fool the German war machine and save thousands of lives during World War II. Imagine you're a German soldier in France, 1944. You peer through your binoculars and see a massive column of American Sherman tanks rumbling into position. You hear the clatter of their treads, the shouts of commanders, the whine of their engines. You report back to headquarters. A huge Allied force is massing for an attack. The only problem, those tanks were made of rubber. The sounds were coming from giant speakers, and the soldiers, they were artists, designers, and actors, playing the most important role of their lives. This was the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, better known as the Ghost Army, a hand-picked unit of just over 1,000 men. Their mission was unlike any other in the U.S. Army. They weren't there to fight. They were there to deceive. Their arsenal included hundreds of inflatable tanks, cannons, jeeps, and airplanes that could be set up in hours from a distance. They were indistinguishable from the real thing. To complete the illusion, they had a library of sound effects recorded at Fort Knox. They could blast the sounds of a full armored division setting up camp, making a handful of men sound like a force of 30,000. The men of the Ghost Army were recruited from art schools, advertising agencies, and design firms across America. Future fashion designer Bill Blass, painter Ellsworth Kelly, and photographer Art Kane were among their ranks. These creative minds were now tasked with tactical deception. They would arrive at a location, often under the cover of darkness, and begin their performance. They'd inflate their rubber armada, blast their soundscapes, and even create fake radio chatter for enemy ears to intercept, using phony messages to build a picture of a massive, impending attack. Their deception didn't stop there. They would drive a few real trucks in loops to create their impression of long convoys. They visit local towns, impersonating colonels and generals, dropping secret information in cafes and bars where they knew spies and sympathizers would be listening. They even wore the patches and insignia of the units they were impersonating, knowing that every little detail added to the believability of their elaborate ruse. Once the German army was convinced and had moved their forces to counter the phantom threat, the Ghost Army would vanish overnight, leaving the enemy staring at an empty field, while the real Allied forces attacked elsewhere. Facing a weakened and misplaced defense, their missions were incredibly dangerous. By drawing attention to themselves, they often drew enemy fire. They were impersonating frontline units, which meant they had to be close to the front lines. They were a small, lightly armed unit deliberately making themselves a target for the full might of the German army. Their success depended on being believed, and if they were in mortal danger. It was a high-wire act with no safety net. From the beaches of Normandy to the final push into Germany, the Ghost Army conducted more than 20 battlefield deceptions. Their most famous and perhaps most critical operation was Operation Biersen. In March 1945, the U.S. Ninth Army was preparing to cross the heavily defended Rhine River, a monumental and risky undertaking. To give them a fighting chance, the Ghost Army was called in to stage a massive deception 10 miles away. Their mission was to convince the Germans that the crossing would happen at their location, drawing enemy divisions away from the real crossing point. For 2 days, they put on their greatest show. They inflated hundreds of tanks and artillery pieces. Their sound trucks blared the noises of a full-scale engineering and armor assault, day and night. They even used searchlights to create the illusion of nighttime construction on the riverbank. The deception worked perfectly. The Germans, completely fooled, repositioned heavy artillery and several divisions to counter the phantom invasion, leaving the actual crossing point for the Ninth Army far less defended. When the real attack came, The Allies faced significantly lighter resistance, crossed the Rhine, and plunged into the heart of Germany. It is estimated that the Ghost Army's performance in this single operation saved anywhere from 10,000 to 30,000 American lives after the war. The story of the Ghost Army was classified as top secret. The men were sworn to silence, unable to tell their families, their friends, or the world about their incredible contributions. The Army wanted to keep these unique tactics a secret for potential future conflicts for over 50 years. Their heroism remained unknown. The artists and actors who wielded imagination as a weapon went back to their civilian lives, their stories locked away. It wasn't until the 1990s that the mission was declassified, and the incredible tale of the Ghost Army finally began to emerge. Thanks to the tireless efforts of historians and the surviving veterans themselves, we now know about this band of creatives who fought a different kind of war. They prove that sometimes the most powerful force on the battlefield isn't firepower, but illusion. They were soldiers, yes, but they were also performers, artists, and masters of misdirection who played a crucial, unseen role in winning the war. The story of the Ghost Army is a powerful reminder that ingenuity and creativity can be found in the most unexpected places, even on the front lines of the deadliest conflict in human history. They were the masters of make-believe, the phantom force that haunted the German army, and true unsung heroes of World War II. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more hidden histories. Let us know in the comments what you think about the Ghost Army's incredible tactics. See you next time.